Boom. We're live. Well, go on, people. Sorry I'm late. I'm always late. You guys should know this, innit? Please forgive me. How are you all doing? What's everyone saying? Hope you're all good. Let me change the colour of these lights because we don't rock with the red round here. You get me? I'm doing something a little bit different. It's a little call-in show. Today is your turn to talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Just the link is pinned in the chat. You know what I mean? If you guys want to come on and have your say, you can talk about whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be Spurs. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're a community. You guys help me out by watching my streams every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right that I give you lot a chance to come on and have your say. So the link is there. Feel free to join. But in the meantime, hit the like button in it. Let's run it up. Also, I'm literally 10 subs, 11 subs away from 650. Can we get that? You know what I'm saying? If you got a friend, just share the channel around, help me grow. Look, I greatly appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? But let me large up the chat, you know what I'm saying, while we wait for our first caller. Big up Kudus, man. What you saying, my bro? Hope you're good, man. Hope you're good, Kudus. Big up. Oh my gosh. Listen. Come on, man. I'm always late. You should know this. Big up, Sab, bro. Big up, man. Big up. Might come on in a bit. Hey, listen, the option is there, man. Do you know what I mean? The club may be a mess, but hey, this is where we can come and just let our pain out, let our frustration out. Like Sav said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Factual, man. We need to, yeah, man. We're on the road to 1K. I'm trying to get to 1K. So if you want to subscribe, yeah, man. If you want to come in and have you say talk about your team, you can as well, bro. I don't mind. Listen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you guys are all part of my community, whether you support Spurs or not, innit? So anyone's welcome. The link is there, literally, bro. Literally, my man. Anyone is welcome. Big up Henry from TV. Big up, bro. What you said, my guy? Hope you're good, man. Hope you're good. Do you know what it is as well, yeah? Oh, we got our first caller, I think. My guy AJ. Say it, my bro.
It's been a while, man. How have you been?
It's been a minute, man. I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. My team's in a European semi-final. My league season's dead. It is what it is.
You must be loving life, man. All your ops are just suffering right now. You obviously probably wanted to win the league, but hey, I'm sure you can't complain about being in the semi-final in the Champions League. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I mean, the only odd that ain't suffering enough is Liverpool, but that's just it is what it is. Their man deserves to win the league.
Are you? Oh, so you're not on the PGMOL gave them the league then? No, you don't believe that?
Nah, we weren't good enough. We didn't. That summer window we had was not good enough to win the league. Well, the only reason Marino's looking like our best signing is because we lumped him up front. That weren't a genius move. That was just we had no one else.
Yeah. And of course he's gonna take the praise for it, innit? That's what we were talking about yesterday. Of course, Arteta's gonna take the praise, you get me, because that's what he does, man. He's a little narcissist. You know what I'm saying? He's a little narcissist. However, in terms of like you lot in Europe, bro, you've actually had a good run in Europe. You can't. It looks like he's actually taken that competition seriously for once. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I'm sure it's a bit bittersweet, innit?
I'd argue that we took it seriously last season, but we weren't good enough against Bayern Munich. But
so do you reckon
PSG
you'll win the Champions League?
Nah, I'd love to, but obviously, but PSG ties is 50-50, and I need Barca to beat Inter for us to have a chance. But Lewandowski's injured, so yeah, Inter are gonna deal with him.
Oh shit!
And Inter
are gonna deal with Barca.
It's gonna be close, but Inter Milan are basically Arsenal on steroids because that defense is that.
I think that defense like 3 goals in the competition this season, isn't it? Like some crazy stat.
Their defense is diabolical, and while I'm not big fans of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram, they score goals. So we have to be careful with that. And PSG, I'm not sleeping on them, especially knowing Partey's suspended for the first leg, which is a massive problem.
Oh,
But
no Partey.
yeah,
So what's the
that's my big
midfield
worry.
looking like then? Jorginho.
He's a fitness doubt as well.
I see what you mean about the summer now. The used to pray for times like this. Inter have the best defense in Europe, and their counter attack is unreal. Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, man. I can't lie though. One thing I want to ask you, because I haven't had a chance to speak to you about it. Yeah, what's your thoughts on Declan Rice? Do you genuinely believe he's the best midfielder in Europe? Because the Arsenal fans I've spoken to, yeah, these men are saying that he should win a Ballon d'Or. Like, they're moving mad, innit? I personally think this is just them 2 free kicks are kind of, even though the free kicks was 30, innit? Like, we can't sit here and be disingenuous and say they weren't good free
Oh
kicks.
yeah.
He binsed it, but to say he's the best midfielder in the world based off the back of like 2 big games, like, don't you think those performances should be standard when you pay 100 million for a player?
Maybe not standard, but best midfielder in Europe. He ain't even the best midfielder at his own club. Someone's Partey's been better than him this season. Bro, Declan Rice proved me wrong in the big games because you know what I used to call him? I used to call him the Greg's Gareth Barry. Marks and Spencer's Noble. Right, I had too many names for that guy. JD Jordan Henderson. Bro, I was not happy when we paid 105 million for him. But he stepped up in games when I thought he wouldn't be able to. So he has to get props for that. But Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and flipping who else do they have? Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, João Neves. Yeah, I'm not trying to see that midfield, especially without Partey.
So what? This comment here: Spurs versus Arsenal Super Cup final. Imagine.
You lot don't win trophies anyway.
What's your thoughts on obviously us lot and Kudos? I see you backstage, bro. I'm gonna bring you up in a sec. What's your thoughts on obviously Tottenham being in the semi? Do you think like who do you think is gonna win the Europa League, bro? From your perspective, from the 4 teams that are left.
I don't know really because Man United are rubbish, but they're scam artists in Europe. No one gave Tottenham a chance to play at Frankfurt, but Yeman and Sam Madness. So I don't know. Like literally, it's a four-way shot because Bodo Glimt shouldn't be taken lightly. And if you got to take them lightly, they'll slap you. But honestly, I hate to say it, but I think Man United are gonna do it. I hate them, but them man got some band. Them man have got some African judge in that competition. I don't know what they've done.
Yeah, bad.
Oh mate, listen. You see, if you know, I feel like in a
Man
game, if it really matters, United could pip us. But I don't know, man. Something just. I mean, he said he always wins in his second season, innit? You get me? But obviously, we got Kudos here joining us as well. You know what I'm saying? What are you saying, bro? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you guys? Been other than Spurs, obviously, but
away from Spurs, wonderful. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know the club I support, man. You know the pain. You know the pain I have to endure. 18 Premier League losses. We got Anfield on Sunday. Sunday we're going to Anfield. You know what I mean? Life is terrible.
You got Villa Park. You got West Ham away. You got
Brighton at home.
Brighton at home. Palace at home as well.
Yeah,
that's a bollock run.
Yeah. So what do you not think of Ange then? What's your thoughts on that? Obviously, Kudos. I know what you think. I know what you think of Ange. Everyone knows it. This guy, right? I actually have never hated anyone more than him. Like, I don't think I've ever hated a manager. I don't think I've ever hated a football person more than I hate Ange Postecoglou. He's the most unlikable character. Like, the things he says, he's always trying to fight the fans after games. You know, he's always trying to throw fists and whatnot. I don't know if you saw the way we got absolutely... Blessings, bro. Obviously, Forest, the way they dealt with us on the weekend, like, everyone's going to say we played well, but we just got stifled. Like, I just think we got stifled, man. These players aren't good enough. you know what I'm saying? Kudus, what do you make of it though? Got Omar as well. Big up Omar.
As for the players, I think we are good enough. I think obviously the system stifles a lot of our creativity, a lot of our defensive solidity, and all that stuff. And as for Ange, I wanted to back him. Being Australian myself, I wanted to back him to the hilt because I have followed him quite a while. But I think around 3 months ago, things just started to become completely untenable. I couldn't back him any longer. He started to show his true colours. I thought he was very charismatic of a person and a manager, but then I just realised that he's actually just an arrogant prick, and that was a sobering realisation because I him in a way because he was representing my country, but now he's sort of disgracing my country. So I really can't back him in any way. And all the other Aussie Ange fans, the mind boggles as to why they are the way they are. But I guess that's football fandom for you.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, I don't understand personally how you can lose 18 games in one season and possibly have any excuses for that. I thought it was injuries. I mean, how long have we had our players back for, Kudus? We've had our players back for ages now. We've had our players back for about a month and a bit now.
Yeah, a month. 3 weeks to a month.
Exactly, and we've lost 4 of the last 5 games with all of our players, maybe barring Kulusevski and Danso, who people would say, Danso, but he doesn't even start when Romero and Van der Ven are fit anyways. Do you know what I mean? And Kulusevski, okay, I can understand that being a miss, but he's not that much of a miss. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can function without Kulusevski in the team. But Omar, I want to bring you into the conversation as well. What team do you support, bro?
I support Tottenham, my brother.
What Omar is this? Why do I feel like? Anyways, what's your thoughts, bro?
You know me from Twitter.
Huh?
You know me from Twitter.
From 50 Shades, innit?
Yeah.
What's good, my bro?
I'm good. How about you, my brother?
I'm alive and well, man. Obviously, you're Ange out, right?
Yeah, man. I've been Ange out since Goodison Park.
Oh my guy, come on, man. Let us know. What chat to the people there, man. Chat to the people. How are you feeling, fam? How do we summarize how we feel? How do we summarize it? Put it into words.
It's been nothing short of shambolic. Genuinely, it's been honestly the worst season I've ever seen as a Spurs fan. I've not even been a fan for more than 5 years, and I've survived 22-23. It's that bad. Honestly, like 18 league losses, and we're not even in May. We still have to go to Anfield. We still have to go to Villa Park. We still have to go to London Stadium. We're going to end the season with at least 22 losses. Do you know how insane that is? As a Big Six club, ending the season with 22 Premier League losses is nuts.
We can't even be considered a Big Six club anymore. Like, they might actually revoke that status from us after this. We might get demoted. We might just go back to being a mid-table team because obviously everyone says, and this is, people tell me I'm too emotional, too reactionary. But my thing is, if you let your standards drop, then the low standards becomes the norm. And then we just end up like West Ham, innit? Just happy to, you know what I'm saying? Just happy to be involved in the conversation. You know that guy at the party that doesn't get no action, but he's just happy to be around bad bitches. Do you know that guy? You know what I'm saying? He's just in the corner, but he'll go back to the man them and say, yo, there was bare bad. These times he didn't talk to any of them. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be involved in the conversation. And the only way to do that is to keep the standards up here, innit? That's why I say, I can't accept this 17th and a trophy nonsense. We have to win games, bro. The Premier League should be your bread and butter. We shouldn't have to sacrifice the league for a cup. That's just sad. That is sad, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like sacrificing your wife for a prostitute, blood. For one night with a prostitute. Do you know what I mean? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? It's not all right, man. It's not all right. But I want to ask you about a few of the players, innit? Because obviously, I want to ask you about Romero. Because if you lot watch my channel, you will know I absolutely can't stand him. Like, I despise him so much. Like, I actually hate him. His face pisses me off as well.
Bro, he's a mercenary. He's nothing less of a mercenary, I'll be honest.
Boys, the floor is yours. What did you make of his comments after the game?
He should be benched for the rest of the season, I'll be honest. Because saying things like that when you've held the captain's armband not even a week ago should prompt that. Should only prompt you being benched for the rest of the season and then shipped off. And then obviously you have signed a replacement, which, you know, Levy won't do. So we'll pretty much end up with Danso as the rare replacement. So we'll see mediocrity yet again.
That's the problem though, isn't it? Like that's the Romero needs to be binned this pussy. John does not like Romero at all. But this is the problem here. When you've got players that don't want to be here, don't you think that affects the squad? Like, people will say, "Oh, you don't think he's good anyway, so what's wrong with coming out and saying da 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 da?" But it's like, bro, you're the captain. You're wearing the armband while Son's not there. You're supposed to be the leader, bro. We're going into a semi-final, and the guy who's probably gonna walk the players out onto the pitch, yeah, doesn't even want to be here. What kind of mentality is that? Kudus, what about you, bro? What did you make of the comments? I don't know if did you see the comments?
I think, is it the ones about him maybe going to Spain next season? Is that the ones?
Yeah, he wants to play in Spain. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I think I didn't watch the game. I think those are the comments you're talking. Yeah, I mean, for a while I've been Romero's attitude has just stunk. Like, you can just see it even before the whole breakdown of our league form and all that. Something about him just screams to me mercenary. You're very apathetic towards the whole club and in general. You're just there for a paycheck. You know, you think you're better than everyone else, even though you're not. He always left a bad taste in my mouth. And he has ability, but it's nothing notable. He's not a Van Dijk. He's not a Botman. Not a Gabriel. He's above average. He's an above average player, but a lot of the time he is not above average. He just sort of coasts by on his laurels, rests on his laurels, and that's it. And I honestly could not care less if he goes or not.
No, neither could I, man. And it's just like, bro, why? I don't care how much you want to leave the club, bro. That's you. While the season is going on, while you're still here, shut your mouth and get the job done, innit? Like, just be, especially the nerve when he hasn't even been, he's probably had about 3 good games this season. Do you know what I'm saying? He's had 3 or 4 good games this season, and that's about it. You get me? I can't, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Yo, Jay, your United friend, what's he? Oh, touchline. I'll send you his thing. I'll send you his thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll send you his thing still. But let me get through some of these chats and we'll continue. Show Romero a sign of ambition, you fool. I don't give. Well, hold on, mate. What was getting a bit personal, mate? Bloody hell. Why would any player? I don't care if you want to leave the club. That's not the point. But you don't come out after a game when you've been poor the whole season, talking about you want to leave the football club and the rare tear when you're the vice captain. What kind of message does that send to the people that pay money to go and watch you put stinkers out? You know what I'm saying? When we're away at Wolves, he's the first one down the tunnel instead of going and clapping the away fans. It's stuff like that. These type of bad habits, create a bad environment at the football club. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what? Now you're going to turn on the fans when the fans are shouting wanker, wanker, wanker in the away end. And the fans are booing and jeering. You're going to get mad at them now. Do you know what I'm saying? It don't really make sense. Let's be reasonable, bro. Let's be reasonable. Big up.
Another thing. Big up Aussie Ange hater. Big up, man. Yeah, one more thing, Jay, can I just add?
Yeah, go ahead.
His English, noticeably from interviews and stuff like that, and just like, you know, going down the tunnel, those sort of cam videos and stuff, his English is almost non-existent. And that shows to me a player who doesn't value or doesn't respect, one, you know, the culture and the country is in, 2, the, you know, team. How can you even relate information to someone who doesn't speak English.
Keep going, yeah. I'm just gonna 1 sec, boys.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me. He's an enigma. He just doesn't. He refuses to enculturate himself into the club, and that's a big indicator of him not speaking English, right? And that's a big reason why. And he is not the guy for us. He doesn't have any passion. He only shows passion for his country. And yeah, it's what really hasn't been said about him. He is one of these modern day footballers, I like to call him. He's a very modern day footballer, if you get my drift. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's generally the best way you could summarize it. Like for his country, Argentina, it's like he's the best centre back on the pitch. For us, he turns into Davinson Sanchez. Genuinely, like the amount of mistakes I've seen him make this season, especially for someone that's considered like an above average to world class centre back, is that genuinely should be enough to not give him the title of world class this season alone. Because like, especially before he got injured, like his first injury this season, half of the goals we conceded was down to him having lapses of concentration or losing focus on, like, for example, not keeping the offside line, stuff like that. Like, he was at fault for so many goals that we've conceded this season. And for him to come out and say that after the season he's had, like, nah.
Yeah, he's got no respect. And also, when he's playing for Argentina, he's got a very, very industrious midfield in front of him. So I think that does make him look better than he actually is. And they also play a 3 in the back, which is used to playing at Atalanta, if I'm not mistaken. That's where he got Defender of the Year and stuff. And obviously, playing in a 3 in the back as a less than world-class defender, it does mask some of the deficiencies you have, and it does allow you to play to your strengths more. And I think when he plays in a back two, especially for a club he doesn't really want to play for, like Tottenham, he shows more of his shortcomings than he does his attributes.
Wait, sorry to cut you, bro. In fact, furthermore, because it's almost like they want Jay to go off on a mad one today. What do you mean I've been brainwashed by Levy, bro? What are you talking about? What are you actually talking about? What? Because I think Romero has no right. He's not bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. I don't care how old you are, what generation you are of a football club. You shouldn't be okay. It don't matter if you think the player's too good to be at our football club or not. You should not be okay with any player that plays for this, that wears this, sitting there acting like they're bigger than the football club. If that's the case and you don't want to be here, fuck off. You're right. Maybe they are too good for the football club. If that's the case, leave. But wait till the end of the season. Don't do it when we're in a semi-final of a Europa League. Because what kind of message does that send to the younger players in the squad, bro? Yeah. What kind of message does that send to the new players in the squad? The players that we've just brought in? What about them? Do you know what I'm saying? I ain't been brainwashed by Levy. I hate Daniel Levy too. But you can't... Those 90 minutes that the players are on the pitch, Levy can't control that. That's on Ange and the players, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's quick. I'm not defending these players no more, bro, because they have to hold some accountability too. Because before the excuse was injuries. Now we have a fully fit squad. I don't want to hear nothing. There's no excuse for these players to lose 4 out of the last 5 games. And who are the last 5 teams we played if we actually go back and go through it? What? Wolves. Obviously, Forest.
Forest, yeah. Who was it before?
Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
Chelsea that way, yeah.
I don't even remember that.
That's what I'm saying. Every game is just a loss to me. Every game is a blind. Every game, because it's just normal now. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Listen, I hate him. I hate Levy because he's created this loser mentality, this loser culture at our football club. But there's a time and a place to scold Levy. And when we're talking about purely results, these players are good enough to not be sat 16th in the table in going into May. And the panel, do you guys agree with me? Chat, do you agree with me on that?
100%. This squad, like with the players that we have, we should be at least like in the European places. Having a 16th, like first off, that's not good for the standards of a Big Six club. That's one. Two, that's an indictment of the manager to have a minimum top 8 squad and having a 16th shows you how incompetent he is, and like how his style. There's many stuff that goes
I
into it.
have no
For example,
standards.
how his style brings injuries. How is like us being too open on the counter makes us susceptible to like conceding goals too easily. Like there's many stuff that goes into it. But to summarize, the manager is incompetent, and he's the main reason why we're 16th.
Yeah, of course. I get this though. I understand why surround Romero with mediocre players. But is that just going to be the excuse? Is that our excuse for being 16th? Are these players that bad, yeah, that they can't win, that they can't get 40 points? Is that how, are you saying that Spurs is, wait, hold on. Are you saying that at the start of the season, you predicted us to be 16th in the table? Because the way you're talking, you're telling me I have no standards, but your excuse for us being 16th is our good players are surrounded by mediocre players. So what are you talking about? I get told, Omar can even vouch for me because he's in group chat with me, so he can vouch for me when I say this. How many times do people tell me I'm too reactionary after we lose? I'm overreacting. My standards are misplaced. They're too high. You expect too much from this club.
Hey, I'll be totally honest. When it comes to the group chat, most of it is rage bait. But yeah, you spot on.
There you go. So you can't tell me I don't have standards. I'm one of the few Tottenham fans that believe that we should be looked at the same way clubs like Arsenal and Chelsea are looked at. Do you know why I believe that? Because we've got £1 billion stadium, bro. Yeah, 65,000 capacity, and we spend money. We spend money. You can't even say we don't spend money. We just spend poorly. So we should be winning trophies. We should be winning trophies. So I'm not going to accept 16th place. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to accept players that are performing shit coming here thinking that their shit don't stink.
This is the psyop that Levy has, yeah, this is the psyop that Levy has performed on the club. He's brainwashed fans into thinking that somehow we're minnows in this Premier League and we can't compete. No, we could leave Arsenal in the dust if we utilised our potential. We took off the weight suits and all that. We could be up there with City. That is how much potential we have. We are a dormant giant. We're a sleeping giant. And Daniel Levy simply chooses or elects not to actually use that potential to actually get us up the table winning trophies. There isn't a lack of resources. There is a lack of ambition. And I think we all know that. I'm just, reiterating the common narrative here. But it is what it is. Like this this fan base confuses me. Like I've never been so baffled by it.
I don't know. They've got an excuse for everything, man. That's why I said we're becoming more like Arsenal fans by the day.
I'm not sure we're taking a mid off with Arsenal fans who can be the most deluded or stupid.
I get this. Look at this comment here, right? Romero has an eye of the needle pass on him. Gets on the end of headers, attack that has aggressive style. He's pretty good. He's going to be hard to replace. I understand, on his days of great defender. I'm not saying that, bro. But I'm saying that his attitude stinks. There's nothing wrong with me saying that I don't want players at my club that don't want to be here. Because then you're not going to get consistent performances from them. It's on and off. It's always on and off, on and off. When you've got someone that wants to be here, right? That like a Jed Spence. Look at the performances someone like Jed Spence puts in when he plays. Because he wants to play for the football club. He wants to be here. So what's wrong with me saying that I don't want someone who don't want to be here to be at my football club? I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally. He might be hard to replace. I don't know. But there's defenders out there. We just have to, you know what I'm saying? We need a good coach as well. Because Ange is a terrible coach. But Ghost, I want to bring you in. What are you saying, my bro?
Yeah, what can you hear me good, yeah?
Yeah, all good, man. How you doing, bro?
Good. Yeah, good, my brother, man. See, with that though, I just think to myself, yeah, you see when you see someone like Romero, and then you compare him with someone like Spence. I'd say more times, yeah, like Spence he's at the start of his career, really. Do you know what I mean? He's not really out there yet. He like with him, he will look to further himself at our club, and then he would want to potentially move on as well. But see,
I agree.
And see when you've got a player like Romero, the thing with Romero, he's never going to be happy because it's going to be the same as like a Harry Kane. Like they're going to want success eventually. Like every footballer really, they want to win the big trophies. They want to win the leagues. Like that's their ambition of becoming a footballer at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like if we had the right squad, the right players in the team, we was winning things. You wouldn't be hearing
Sorry, guys.
Romero
One
wants to
step.
leave.
Hey, chat. Can we keep it football friendly, innit? Like, I did see the comment, Kavinsky. It's just football talk, innit? Like, don't make it all personal and stuff, innit? Let's just. Anyway, sorry, guys. Continue. Go on.
Yeah, no, exactly what I'm saying, man. So like, if we had a correct squad and our owners and stuff like that, they're gonna show some ambition to say, yeah, look, okay, we're gonna buy the right players this year. We're gonna pay the right wages. We're trying to win trophies. Like I've never ever actually heard Daniel Levy or anyone at the club come out and say, oh, okay, like we want to win the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Like we want to win this trophy, that trophy. We're gonna sign the players. So I can only ever imagine the ambition from the top. Like it needs to be like top tier. Like everything else is at our club. Do you know what I mean? So. Like, let's be honest, if we was all of us on the panel now as footballers at Tottenham, we'd be thinking to ourselves like, I want to be a legend in football. I want to be known to the world as I've done this and I've done that. And if this ain't the club that's going to take it, you're going to want to leave. So I just think with someone like Romero, we can't really be too harsh on him, man. It's a sticky situation, but all I know is it's a continual thing throughout our history with our players and stuff like that. You go back to the majority of our best players in the last 20 years, they've all moved on, gone to another club to go and get the trophies that they all desire. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like it's got
I don't blame the guy for leaving. You're right. This club is an absolute shit show from top to bottom. Let's have it right. I don't blame these players for wanting to go elsewhere. My thing is, yeah, if you're a part of that senior leadership team, have you ever seen Son come out and say, I want to leave? When Harry Kane was getting linked with a move away in the back end of last season, did you see him come out and say, oh, yeah, I want to go play in Germany, I want to go play in Spain?
He
you know what I'm saying? He didn't do that. He just said, while the season is on, I'm focused on my football at Tottenham. And the conversation gets shut down there. That's all I'm saying, innit? But again, like you said, innit, I can't sit here and be mad at him for wanting to leave because I would want to leave as well. I've said if some of these players do need to leave. If I'm Mikey Moore, I'm asking for a loan move or I'm handing in a transfer request.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of these players do deserve more. That's why we do have to get these owners out. But for 90 minutes, can we blame Levy for what goes on in the pitch for 90 minutes?
No, definitely not. But what I will always say is that Levy can, at the click of his fingers, he can have Ange gone. He continues
which he should have done in November, to be fair.
Exactly, and he continues week in, week out to let us continue watching what we're watching at the end of the day. So, especially, and obviously, we don't always know everything. Do you know what I mean? So, like, say for instance, if Ange was staying next season, then, like, if I'm Romero, I'm thinking, you know what? I need to find my way out of this as quickly as possible, and I need to start to get the ball rolling because I can't be playing for this manager next season.
Moving away from Romero, boys, I wanna shift to another. There's two players that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Maddison and Dominic Solanke. I want to start with Maddison, innit, because obviously I've spoken to George Durag Diary. Big up him. Make sure you guys sub to Durag Diaries as well. He's obviously of the mindset of he doesn't care if Maddison leaves this summer. Like he doesn't care because I think when we signed Maddison, yeah, we all expected him to come in and be this, like, you know, that guy in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we expected him to be our our shining light, innit? The guy who's gonna lead us, who's gonna pop up in these big moments and carry us through games. And I think it's fair to say he hasn't necessarily been that player. The consistency hasn't been there. I know he's picked up a few injuries and that. But what's your thoughts on Maddison as a whole? And it's an open question. Anyone can go. Just what's your thoughts on Maddison, boys?
I mean, I'll be totally honest with Maddison. I mean, I rate him. I think he's a good player, but as you said, the consistency isn't there. But I still feel like he'd be a key player, like not necessarily a key player, but he'd be a good player to have, but not necessarily such an instrumental player to the project per se. Like I know he's a good player. Like he pops up with this here and there. He can give you a good performance every other game or like every 3 games. Like his form is wildly inconsistent, and for that reason, I wouldn't mind upgrading on him. But I still think he'd do well.
I think this guy thinks I like Daniel Levy. I genuinely think this guy likes Daniel Levy. Thinks I like Daniel Levy. I think this. I don't know. Like Kavinsky, you've been on my channel for a long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been here for a long time. I don't know what's going on here, mate. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Why is it that we can't talk about players without bringing up Daniel Levy? Like, I don't get it. Like, if I wanted to do a show about Levy, I could do a show about Levy. Yeah, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I don't like Daniel Levy. We know this. But yeah, back to what we were saying about Maddison, innit?
Yeah, so with Maddison, for me, he's a very good player. He's been played in all the wrong positions. From my point of view, with a Maddison, Maddison needs to be played as like I know you lot know that I like Pochettino in his team and that, but if you go back to them days and you look at the Dele Alli role, just like kind of like that number 10 shadow striker, that's kind of where Maddison is going to excel for me. And kind of when we've seen him there all season, that's when he's been getting his goals and assists. But too many times when I'm watching the game and I'm seeing Maddison in the left back position, and he's got all these players in front of him, and he can't work his magic like that. If I'm honest, he needs to have that kind of just like that free role, just behind the striker, doing what he's doing. And I feel if we sold him, it would be a mistake, because we need to see him in that position correctly, game in, game out. Do you know what I mean? Before we can really judge him. I don't feel like we can really judge him at the minute, because whatever Ange is doing with him, it don't make sense, in my opinion. Like, bro, I don't think we've seen the real Maddison yet.
Nah, I think that's fair. Kudos, what about you, my guy?
On Maddison, I think he is a very, very good player who we are underutilizing, undervaluing, and just generally misusing. I think he can be a talisman. I just don't think anyone can be a talisman in this system. And if they are a talisman in this system, then they're probably bloody special players. But Maddison's not, I wouldn't say he's special, but he's a very good player. I don't really know why anyone wants to get rid of him. I think he's probably our best player technically. Bergvall may be competing with him in that regard, but he's very young. I just don't see why we'd want to get rid of and use him as a scapegoat, our best technical footballer at the club. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think we need to get a manager in who just utilizes him. Because if you ask me, he is better than Martin Odegaard. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but he is. He is a better Martin Odegaard. He's better technically. His record in the Premier League overall is much better. And I think we're under a good manager. He can get back into those 10 to 15 goal contributions, 20 GA overall, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't get the agenda against him.
No, I think what it is, is that, again, Elijah made this, and big up Elijah for this saying, innit? Guys, I'm quoting Elijah, I didn't make this up, innit? But Elijah said that he's a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser, innit? Meaning that he can raise the you know what I'm saying? He can raise the levels from the ground, but he's not gonna he's never gonna be that guy to get you over the line when you need him realistically. But in a game against Southampton away, or do you know what I'm saying? He'll put on a show. Big up R1 as well. In a one-off game like that, someone's echoing as well, by the way.
Oh, it's me. My bad.
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, in a one-off game, you know what I'm saying? He might put in a little shift here and there, but it's not consistent. And you're right, he is a luxury player. One thing I would say though, yeah, in all fairness, is that I think this system doesn't suit him. I think when you've got two fullbacks that are inverting, right, they're flooding into his positions, his areas that he occupies. I don't think you give him much space to work. And then when you've got Solanke up front, who we're going to move on to in a sec, who can't get on the end of chances, you know, Richarlison spanking them wide, Son just completely breaking down our attacks. It's like I don't blame players. I don't blame him for not being able to look like the player that we all think he is, innit? I'm gonna be real. R1, what you saying, my bro?
Nothing, bro, man. I just see the stream was going on. I thought, let me just pass through and you get me touch knowledge and touch base, man. You're not saying big up the panel as well, man. Big up the chat as well.
Yeah, man. We're all good, man. We're just, you know what I'm saying? We're just here. I just thought, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no worries, bro. Big up Omar. Love for joining, my bro. Big up, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're just talking some football, man. Literally, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up the chat as well. 26 people in here. We should be
big up Serv,
big up
2109 as well, man. Come on,
yeah, man. Big up always, man. But let's move on to Big Dom Solanke, innit? You know what I'm saying? Let's move on to Dom Solanke, because I think this one's gonna be an interest. I'm interested to know what you guys think of Dom Solanke, innit? But okay, yeah, this as in
you see the thing about this point though, before you explode, you see the pause. You see the point about this, you see the thing with this point, yeah. I don't think it's cap. I just think that Werner's end product with his shooting, passing, crossing, whatever, will always fail. But you see, when it comes to wingy stuff like take on your man and get past him, brother, who else is doing it better than him? Please tell me in the squad. I don't want to see Werner ever touch the pitch, but I'm just saying, just for that one point, I need to know who takes on their man and gets round them as consistently as him.
No one.
Every single time. It's just that he's crap at the end product. The ball will end up somewhere in row Z. That's the problem with it. If it wasn't for that, it'd be a decent winger. He's just got zero end product. But yeah, that's just a quick Werner.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a bit stunned, innit? I didn't think Timo Werner was good at anything, to be honest. I think he's just shit.
I think he's good at taking a player, bro.
But he can take a player on, but a lot of the time I see him do it, he just runs it into the advertising board. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Or he runs it for a corner. So that's not, it's all good getting past them. But like I said, I like my wingers to be three-phase wingers. I can't deal with first or second phase. I need three phases. Touch, beat the man. Final ball needs to be perfect. But moving on to Solanke, yeah. I think that I saw somewhere that Richarlison has scored more goals in 2025 than Dominic Solanke in it. I don't know how we've allowed that to happen, but boys, what's your thoughts on Big Dom Solanke in it? Because I think it's been a bit of a nightmare season for him. If I'm being honest,
I just think he's useless, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's one of them. You see, I was looking on Twitter a lot, and a lot of the consensus is how come we're not crossing it? Because obviously versus who did we play the other day? Bro, I've forgotten so many losses that we've just had. Nottingham Forest. See, I was playing Forest the other day. Balls are getting whipped in. I'm saying the reason that they're getting whipped is because Richarlison's actually there. Like when Solanke's doing his thing bro, he's huffing and puffing from the halfway line. Like he'll turn and do a little something or whatever he's gonna do. But then he's there like trying to get to the bro. Our wingers are long gone, bro. Brennan's all the way down there, or whoever's on the left is all the way. They're looking to whip it, and you're not there. So I just think that's really the situation. Richarlison he's at least available for the chance, even though he's shit and he's probably gonna miss it. He's at least there. At least he's there to head something or shoot something over or do something. Solanke's just never there, bro. I think that's just the big problem with him. He's never around where you need him to be around. I saw Kane the other day. He scored a goal. I think it was his 60th and 60 for Bayern. Now, I know I always mention these Kane, Defoes, blah, blah, blah. But I just saw Kane. It's crowded. He's touched the ball outside the box, turned, shot, scored. I've never seen Solanke do this. I've never seen Solanke get the ball, just turn, and just shoot. Just show me striker instincts that all you're here to do is score. Just show me that. I've never seen him do it, bro. And it's just one of them things like, what are we supposed? Are we waiting for him to just header the ball? Is that what we signed him for, so that we can cross it and all he can do is header? What else does he offer? Someone tell me, bro.
Nah, spot on.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Solanke, bro?
Yeah, Solanke is a bit of an enigma because obviously he's 19-goal season last season, and playing in a particular system. I think he's a very limited footballer. I think, you know, if you utilize, like a lot of our players, if you utilize them to their strengths, with good management, with good management, coaching, and stuff like that, then yeah, he can be effective. But if you're not going to do that, then what's the point? One, and also we just overpaid for him. We should never have been 60 million, but that's English tax. What are you going to do? I just think that even though I don't think is the answer, I think we could be doing a lot more with him. And I think that, it's just indicative of the lazy scouting at this particular club. It's just we go for the definitely not cheap, the easy option all the time, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what we're doing most of the time. And also, you know, he scores most of his goals with his head. He's never in the box. He was at Bournemouth. He was in the box quite a bit at Bournemouth. He scored most of his goals with his head, I believe. Don't quote me, but I think that's what he did, right? And just it's further indicative that it is actually a management problem. But yeah, overall, I think we do need better. He should be like a backup for us in the grand scheme.
But kudos, can I just interrupt what you're saying there? Because
yeah.
What I was thinking is the narrative is that he scored all his goals with his head, or he scored a lot of headed goals, or whatever not. But I haven't checked this, so somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that it was only about 6 goals that he scored with his head. Like, I heard it was something like the most in the league, but then that just shows a lot of people wasn't scoring headers. I heard it was something like 6 out of his 36 goals in the Premier League. So if we do that math, you're not really, what's that, 1 in 6? So 1 in 6 of your goals is a header. So really, you're not really the heading man that we're putting you to be. You're not really there you go. Thank you. You're not really the header man that this Alan Shearer that we're promoting you to be. You're not that. You're just a guy that you scored a couple goals with your head last season because you had all types of chances. Can you score some with your feet, please, though? Can you just do that? Like, well, footballer, can you please just learn to score some goals with your feet? 36 goals or whatever he scored in however many years is disgusting. Like, I don't think there's justification for that. I don't think we can sit and blame system or blame this or blame that. He just seems like a man that only one system works, because you played for Chelsea, the system didn't work for you. You played for Liverpool, the system didn't work. You played for Bournemouth however many years, and you had seasons of, I'm sorry, but in this day and age of championship, I've seen Ivan Toney and Mitrovic go down there and bang 40. So if you're coming in there and banging 15, I don't really think you're really that striker that you're moving like you are. So really and truly, if you come to the Premier League and Areola has made you score 19 goals in the league, like I always say, last season was a bit weird because there was a lot of people scoring goals.
And do you know what, R1, do you know what it is? People will say, that he's not getting the service, because that's what it was before. That's what even I said it before. I was like, cool, maybe it's the service. But then I deeped, fam, look at the strikers that we've had at our football club. And Ghost, I'm going to bring you in here as well, Look at the strikers that we've had at our football clubs. The Berbatovs, the Defoes, Harry Kane. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at we've had some top strikers at our football clubs. Create something for yourself. Sometimes you just have to say, give me the ball and let me make something for myself, innit? If no one's going to give... If I'm not getting crosses whipped into the box, fine. You know what? I might just hang on to the edge of the box, wait for the... You know what I'm saying? I might just make a little run off the back of the shoulder of the... Do you know what I'm saying? Like the goal that he scored against United. Like the way he got the assist for Bergvall against Liverpool. Run off the back of the last defender. Do you know
Make
what I'm
something.
saying? But like someone else said, someone else put it in the chat a second ago. It's hard to be harsh on a lot of these players when these men are playing in a shit system that doesn't suit them.
Yeah.
It doesn't suit them because everyone is just all over the place. There's no cohesion. It doesn't look smooth anymore. It just looks like throw everyone forward and hope to win. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can understand why he's struggling the way he's struggling, but at the same time, it's like, yo, bro, we pay 65 million for you. I'm not here to deal with any of these excuses no more. Do you know what I'm saying?
And this is the truth. I just don't want to hear the crap. Like I don't want to hear about, oh, it's this and that. I'm sorry, but the team that Kane played in his final season for Tottenham was worse than this, and he banged in 30 goals in the league. 30. So if you're telling me that this guy can't even bang 10, I can't really hit. Like, I get it. Everybody is suffering from this poor management that we're under. Everyone's suffering. But there comes a point where you have to take some responsibility for yourself. Like, I call suffering a good striker that's somehow coming out with 12 goals. Like, I can see that that's not good enough. You're supposed to have more than that. 12, like, that's a system thing. But 6 or 7, like, come on, bro. Like, especially when the excuses are that you're not getting any service. Richarlison has come in for 2 games and banged 2 goals. So what are you telling me about service? Like, are you really? I saw there was a comment earlier. I think it was Kieran Kaz. There was a comment earlier and it said they're being asked to do different things. Are they? Are they really being asked to do different things?
Because their main
just
objective
doing
is the
different
same:
things?
put the ball in the back of the net.
That's your job. Like, you're playing up front. You're not really. I don't think they're being asked. I don't think Ange don't ask people to do specific roles. He's not going to have Richarlison. All right, you do this, but Solanke, you do this. No, he doesn't know. He's not that tactical. It's just go up front and score. And Richarlison at this minute is doing that. Solanke is not. Like, whatever the case. And for me, every time I see him, he is jogging to the box. The ball is already up there, and he's there. Because he's been pressing all day. So you're tired on your way to the box. You're not going to score goals, or you're in there making a mess and doing all this. His touch isn't sharp. Like, when the ball comes to him, he's not sharp. You can see it all over him. He isn't that type of guy. It's just not him. Like, no matter what we want to say or do, he might have seasons where he will score 15 plus. He might do, but he's not an animal. He just isn't. His first touch is shocking.
I think this is as well, this is why he needs to stop dropping deep, because when we had Harry Kane dropping deep, right, and Kudus, I'll bring you in here as well. When we had Harry Kane dropping in deep, the reason why we could afford to have him do that is because of all of the bonuses that came with Harry Kane, right? He was one of the best passers in the league. His first touch was always spectacular. His vision was amazing, and he had the chemistry of Son. Dominic Solanke doesn't have that. So when he drops he drops deep and he lays off, he's not laying off a 30-yard curved pass out to the wing for Son to run onto or for Johnson to run onto. Do you know what I'm saying? He's just slowing down our attacks. So, do you think, that we give Solanke another season under a different manager to see if maybe just a better manager can get a tune out of him, or do we just call a spade, and are we gonna have to go out in the summer again and look for a new striker?
I think we should be buying a striker regardless, and I do think we should keep him for another season, but not have him as the main striker. I think we should be using him as a number 2. I think we should be bringing in a more established striker, or even someone well scouted that can actually has a good touch, good track record of scoring goals. Doesn't even have to be that prolific. Just someone who we can rely on at the front, who is a bit of an everyman. He can do a bit of everything, and can really help our attack out. And Solanke, I think he could do a job as a number 2, and I think we do need to give him another season just because of how incredibly terrible this manager is. There has to be a little asterisk next to this, even though he hasn't really been good enough in front of goal, and I concede that. There has to be a little bit of an asterisk next to his name when it comes to his goal scoring record this season, because it's just, even though he should be in the box, he isn't. And I don't think that's due to him. And I know he shouldn't be tracking back, and he works hard and stuff like that. But I really do think that under a better manager, they will get a. If he scored like 10 to 15, if he scored like even 10 this season, I don't think we'd be on his back as much as we are. So,
I
and,
would, personally. I actually would.
yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
to
I
interrupt.
mean,
I would.
yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I probably would as well, just because I think because the reality is that I agree with you, Kudus. I actually believe that he should have been brought in as a number 2, but we brought him in to be the number 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we living in a world where Brennan Johnson has more Premier League goals than you? Like, that is not okay in any world whatsoever. Do you know what I'm saying? But I definitely agree. I want to move on the conversation onto another player though. Well, we've got 2 more players that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Vicario, because these last few games he's been a massive liability, man. He has been a massive liability, flapping at shots, at crosses, sorry. Boys, what's your thoughts? And I'll leave the floor to you while I quickly go toilet. What's your thoughts on Vicario?
You lot can lead this. You can go first.
I'll give my thoughts. Vicario. So, yeah, he's just another player who's overall a pretty good player, but he just has these very fundamental shortcomings that sort of just make him a bit of a rung below a top player. And I think that's what he was. We had that with Lloris to an extent, and now we have that with Vicario. I don't know. You'd think he'll be able to iron that stuff out in training, but I don't know what we do in training and stuff like that.
Like, we just cross. That's all we do, is that crossing pattern that they always do. That's all they do. I've never seen them do any other drill.
Because I've seen Vicario work on like his strength and stuff when being surrounded by players, but I don't see that manifesting on the pitch. He still looks he still looks weak. He still looks very flappable. He doesn't inspire confidence when the ball's not being shot at him. When it's being shot over him, or if it's being rolled to his feet, that is when I get nervous, and that is a big flaw. But overall, I think he is good enough for what our ambitions would be as this current rendition of Tottenham Hotspur would be, which is aspiring for 6 and a trophy. I do think he is good enough for that, but obviously we're not going for a league title, so. It's all opinions at the end of the day, but I do think Vicario is good enough. I just think in the crunch moments, there is question marks over him. What do you think, Altman?
Personally, what I would say is I would actually agree with most of what you said. I think he is of the level to be a keeper if your aspirations is 6th, 7th, a little Carabao Cup or FA Cup somewhere there. I think you can get to those, or you can have a level of that with a keeper like Vicario. Anything past that, I think he has too many flaws in his game. I feel like being a good shot stopping keeper isn't enough in today's football, which is sad for some keepers because that's their bread and butter, saving shots. And I'm always somebody that I'd much rather my keeper be able to save than be able to pass a 40-yard, ping every minute. I'd rather my keeper be able to save. But in this generation, there's so many keepers that are doing multiple things, or sometimes it comes down to just even simple basics. Like, I would like to see that you're in control of your box. I would like to feel like there's a presence there, because when I look at keepers like Raya, or I look at keepers like Allison, I look at keepers like X, Y, and Z around in the box, even that sales guy for Forest, and all different types of they look like they're kind of in control of the area. So for example, if a free kick's coming in or a set piece is coming in, they seem like they've got some kind of control. If the ball's coming in the air, that's me. With Vicario, it's like, are you going to come and punch it into danger, or are you going to come and completely miss the ball or get bullied out of the way and things like that? And it's like, you're a keeper. I need you to have a bit more aura. I need you to have a bit more something about you and things. I want, and I don't feel safe. And then since he's come back from his injury, I feel like his main trait, which was shot stopping, I don't think it's been as good. I don't know if he's a bit rusty at all, or, well, he shouldn't be because he's been back for months now, but something just doesn't seem right. Before his injury, I was really confident in his shot stopping. I was really like, okay, yeah, that's really something he's good at, even if he's not good at a lot of other things. But even this, I feel like he's dropped off. Like I feel like his actual shot stopping isn't that good. Like there's things that's like, I think you would have saved that maybe a year ago, or that so I'm personally I'm of the opinion that he can be upgraded on. I know that we're trying to just get back to being, a 6th, 7th place team, which just gives me a headache to think about. But I think that we need to think of maybe not next season, but maybe the season after replacing him, because I don't think he's going to really take us to the promised land. I can see mistakes in him. I can see, I don't have that much confidence in him. Let me just put it like that. That's me.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I don't really understand why we bought him in the first place. It just kind of seems like a bad scouting again, really, because the way we play football and the way we want to play the ball out from the back, what we really want to do is the aim of what we're doing is to bring the opposition team forward towards our back line, be comfortable with the ball, and then we create the space to pass around the back and get through them. But what I'm seeing recently is we can't do that anymore because nobody wants to pass the ball to Vicario because he's so nervous and nervy with the ball. So for the play style that we're trying to achieve, it's just like we've bought the complete wrong goalkeeper. His shot stopping ability is on his day can be very, very good, but Hugo Lloris was the same. Then when I see him, with Vicario, just like he's going long. His long passing is not too great either. It's just what he's doing is, I don't know. I feel like that's why we bought in Kinski in January, but he's not ready yet. Kinski, he's only 21, 22. He needs a lot of time, and I feel like he's not going to be afforded that where Vicario is making so much mistakes at the back. You can't now bring another goalkeeper in that's making the same mistakes. It's like I just feel like we always put ourselves in this position because of bad scouting at the end of the day. Like you haven't got the manager, the goalkeeper that he needs to perform his way of playing football. It's the kind of the same thing over and over again. But don't get me wrong, I think if we bring a new manager in, different style of football, we're not doing all this passing out from the back, maybe we actually play some defenders that can head the ball out from corners instead of the two we've got, because they don't seem capable of it. I'm not going to lie. Anything comes near Van der Ven and Romero in the air in our own box,
man. And like Kaczynski said, look, we're gonna get on to Van der Ven. Don't worry, mate. Like, we're not just talking about the Nottingham Forest game, innit? But I'm just talking about in general. What's our general thoughts on Vicario as a whole? Because for me, I think he's shot stopping is second, and I think he's a genuinely brilliant shot stopper. Like, he makes some outrageous saves, especially with his feet. Like, the amount of off the line clearances that he's made, we can't see again. R1, you know me, bro. I'm not disingenuous when it comes to these things. I give the players their credit, but what I'm saying is, right, I just think sometimes it's the moments when you switch off. It's like the moments where you switch off. Yeah, it reflects badly. And like you said, I've noticed it now. Players don't want to pass back. They don't want to play out from the back anymore because they don't trust Vicario to make the right decision. He's either going to put it out of play or hit it straight to a player or do a little hospital pass and put us in danger. And I think something needs to be done with our set pieces. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think the way we defend set pieces, like, I always get nervous when we concede a corner because I always think, oh my God, they're going to score. They're going to score. Straight away in my head, I think, yeah, they're going to score, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that needs a lot of work. But we can move on to Van der Ven because there's been, again, there's a lot of mixed feelings about Van der Ven. Let me just get through some of these comments real quick. Big up, John. Also, his distribution needs serious work. This season, he has kicked it directly to so many people. Yeah, I think I saw something. He's been at fault for like 10 plus goals or some shit.
Who? Vicario?
Yeah.
His kicking is really bad.
Van der Ven is horrid. Okay, guys. Let's We'll know what. Let's discuss this, yeah, because I think Van der Ven's been found out. I personally think that Van der Ven has just been found out. I don't think that he's a bad player. I just think that we may have overvalued him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we may have, which what we do, we gas up a lot of our players a little bit too much in it. But I think his speed saves him in a lot of situations. But I think like is in one-on-one situations, he's a bang average defender, man. Like he's a bang average defender in like one-on-one situations. I think his heading ability, his aerial presence is non-existent. Do you know what I'm saying? So realistically, the only thing we can turn around and say is them recovery runs. But that's the reason he's always out injured. Boys, what's your thoughts on Van der Ven?
For me, I think you know my Jay. I think you know my thoughts.
Yeah,
on Van der Ven. Bro, I'm not a big fan of Van der Ven. I'm not gonna get too into it right now, but I am not a big fan of Van der Ven. I'm just gonna say that now. Firstly, it's the availability. He's never there. For somebody that we're supposed to rely on, your availability is shocking. Like, I'm sorry, but we can blame all of this. Oh, but he's running and he's gonna tear his hamstring and blah blah blah, and this and that. No one else is tearing their hamstrings off the bone, bro. It's just you. And I'm gonna be honest. It's not like you make 70 recovery runs like how we like to. Yes, he's gonna have to make 1 or 2 of those during the game, bro. That's your thing, bro. Wingers are running up and down all day. Like, what are you telling me that you can't run for 5 minutes and your hamstring's gonna fall off? So his availability for one is shocking. I'm sure he's played less than half of the games that he's been here for. Secondly, how can you be the tallest player on the pitch? The guy is like a tree and he cannot header a ball. What sense does it make? You're not. Have you ever even seen him? You know, like when we've got a corner. He's not dangerous from that. I don't even know where Van der Ven is. Like when we've got a corner, I should be looking at you as the danger man. Like get that ball to Van der Ven and let him either head it back across goal or score from it. Has this guy ever scored a header for us? No, and let alone his defensive work.
He can score a 30-yard like he can slap it top bins with his left foot. But God forbid he has to score a header. Do you know what I mean?
God forbid this guy has to win a header. Forget scoring it. God forbid he has to even win the header in the first place. He never does. That Chris Wood goal was all because of him. Like, how the hell have you missed that ball? Like it for me, and he does this regularly. Like it's not something he does all the time. Now, a lot of people was putting up that video of his tackle that he made against Frankfurt the other day. Good tackle, great tackle, but that's all you offer. So if all you can do is be a recovery run player, I think that he doesn't. This is why I don't want to go too much into him, because I'm not impressed with him under this system, which I feel like the system is not necessarily tailor-made for him, but you should be excelling, because if it's a high line and running is the main thing that we need, and that's your main attribute, then it kind of suits you more than it suits anybody else. That aside, though, if we were to play him maybe as a left-sided centre-back in a free, where he used to play at what was it, Wolfsburg? That before, where he used to play at Wolfsburg.
I think he's a back three defender. I agree.
I think he's a back three defender. He shouldn't be in the back.
Pace is a luxury.
Yeah, exactly. He's a luxury guy where he can travel with the ball. I think his best attribute is ball carrying. Like I haven't seen it for a little while, but out of everything I've seen from him, I feel like that's his best thing that he does is get the ball and carry it out from the back, because his passing isn't great. All he does is pass it to the wing or pass it to Romero. I've never seen him really excel in passing, but getting the ball, running through a couple of players, I've seen him do that a couple of times. So I feel like as long as he's got that license to go up and down, and you've got another 2 that are still there when he goes and does that, I think that's the best way of utilizing him. If not there, then left back. Because centre back in a 2, it just doesn't work for me. Like he's been spun. When do you ever see him? I say this all the time. When do you ever see him clear it off the line, last minute tackle? Okay, we saw it the other day against Frankfurt, but I'll be honest, that's the first time I've seen him do a last minute tackle. So last minute tackles, heading clearances off the like real defender stuff. How often does
he does all of that in recovery. It's always after he gets spun in midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. We can sit here and say all of these things that he does, but if you add an extra 10 seconds to that clip, you'll see he got turned. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll see it was Palmer that turned into slip Jackson through anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? And
the ball's gone over.
I think and boys, I'm gonna bring Kudus and Ghost in on this, with this question here. Do you think that Van der Ven just looks average under a different manager with no high defensive line. I'm not sure if you mean will he look better under a new manager or will he look worse, like as in more average? I don't know. But boys, I'm gonna put that one to you.
Yeah. I definitely think he looks better, but at the end of the day, we don't know till we actually see him. I've always been. I'll be honest. I was one of the ones tooting his horn. Pause. When in early in the seasons, when Ange first came in as being basically the next Jan Vertonghen and stuff like that. And I've sort of cooled down on that a bit, but I do still think he is a quality defender. I've seen enough from him to say, yeah, there's definitely something about you that is it is bombastic. Like those runs he makes forward and stuff like that. And I do think he is a decent defender on the ground, but when it comes to the air, that doesn't make any sense to me. I do not know how you can be that tall, like you guys said, and not be able to header a ball. It's baffling. Like, I just don't get it. And one thing I also said about Van der Ven is that the guy's fucking good going forward. He is a very good player. I even think he's better than most of our wingers. If we put him on the wing, he'll do a better job than most of our wingers. And I've seen him in the clips and like when he was at Wolfsburg, he's very good on the ball, and he can strike a ball. We've seen that. So yeah, he's a bit of a like a lot of our players. He's got a very unique skill set but with a big flaw in his game. That's the story with a lot of our players.
Yeah. Guys,
Yeah.
what about you,
Yeah.
my bro?
I think with Van der Ven, I think he's still a very young player, especially for a centre back. I think with most top centre backs, you don't really they don't really come into their own until they're about, I don't know, 25, 26 at least.
Yeah.
I think it would help him a lot if we had a decent defensive manager that actually coached the defence, because from what I see, I don't feel like our defence, the main aim of our defence is to start attacks, not to defend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. You put that brilliant.
Yeah, and I feel like we've had some top defensive managers over the years, and with Van der Ven, he hasn't played under one of their managers, and obviously we got him from Wolfsburg. I'm not really I don't know too much about Wolfsburg and their manager and how he was defending they're in their system and that. But I just feel
they
like
play a back five. They play the back five. Yeah.
I just feel like with him, when we get the right manager, that's gonna have our defenders drilled properly. He's going to have a few mistakes as well because he's still young. Like all young defenders are going to make. They're going I think even what's that one that plays for Liverpool, Canate. I think a season or two ago, you would still see him making mistakes, and it's just how the game goes. Really, he's got to get them out of his system.
He still turns off now. To be fair, he still switches off at times now. Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. And most people will regard him as a top centre back now, but I just feel like once he does come into his own, we've got a proper defensive manager. He could be a very, very good player for us. I'm not really too worried about Van der Ven, if I'm honest. I think sometimes as well, especially I think in the back two with the high line, it exposes him. But I think if you play the back two but further back, his pace I think he would look like a much better footballer, because he wouldn't just be. I think about it see when you're doing a sprint and you're sprinting as fast as you can, sometimes it's hard to control yourself. He's in these situations where he's got his back to goal, and he's just trying to stop these wingers, strikers that are faced on goalwards. He's gonna get turned in and out sometimes, especially running at full pelt. I just think as soon as we get the suit, I think all of this really, it just comes down to our manager, guys, man. I think our manager, he's ruining a lot of these players. They're not looking as good as they should be looking because of how they're playing chaotic football at the end of the day. And I think until we stop playing this chaotic way of playing football, we're not really going to see the best and see the best qualities. We may now think that Van der Ven's pace is his best quality, but that's just because of how the system is making it look out to be at the end of the day.
I think that's a good point. I actually think I think you summarised that quite well as well, to be fair. But this is why I always look, I'm not of the I don't care about this entertaining fancy football, because at the end of the day, yeah, I think we've gone too long without success in it. Like I don't think we're in a position to be sitting here and deciding what type of football we want to be playing. Do you know what I mean? I think we just need a manager that can drill these players into getting them to play a system that works and that doesn't always leave us so exposed. And I think there's been a few times this season where I've seen Van de Ven getting left exposed because sometimes Romero just decides his brain switches off and he wants to go and run and become a centre forward. You know what I'm saying? You got Bentancur, who's one of the most passive, Dr. Racismo, I call him. He's one of the most passive midfielders in our team. Bergval's still young, right? But I'm not expecting Bergval to be doing two midfielders' roles and his role as well. So it's like, I kind of understand it, and I absolutely agree, yeah, that I don't think the system is benefiting him too much. What I will say, though, and again, we've got literally about 20 more minutes before I've got to wrap up the show, yeah? So I want to shift it to this question. And chat, I want you to get involved in this as well, yeah? Ange is gone at the end of the season. We know this, right? We know Ange is gone. Do you get me? We know Ange, he's gone. Who do you guys believe is an ideal replacement for Postecoglou when he leaves? And do you believe, yeah, that if we win this Europa League, we should still get rid of him? Because I think we all know, I think he has to go regardless. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it can get really embarrassing in the Champions League with this manager next season. Do you know what I mean? But boys, I put that to you. Who is a manager that you guys think would come in and actually, I'm not saying get us to competing for leagues, but almost like the manager before the manager, innit?
Probably Oliver Glasner. Like, that's the only one I can think of in the Premier League that would probably fit us the best. I really like what I see from Glasner. I think he is he's won in Europe. He's done it in the Premier League. Nothing flashy, just nice, sensible football. Get us goals, get us where we're supposed to be. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the answer is right in front of us, really.
This guy said David Lane.
For me personally, it's a bit difficult because do you know what? I'm not of the same consensus of everybody else. I think we've got a lot of fans here who think that we'll get another. I'm of the consensus I want Ange out, so just let's get that cleared up. But I'm not of the consensus that another manager comes in and gets us to where I want to be. I think another manager comes in and gets us to 9th place or 8th or something like that. That being said, though, to answer the question, I would say maybe a Glasner again, because he's doing well at Palace with what he's got. He seems like he's got some tactics. He seems like he's got some, But if I'm gonna be honest with you, Jay, and chat and panel and that, I really haven't got anybody in mind. I haven't got anybody who comes in and fixes what the issue of Tottenham is. Yeah. I saw in the comments somebody had put earlier, Levy this, Levy that. Bro, it's always going to be a Levy thing because he will never support the proper managers with what they need. It's okay to see Areola doing well at Bournemouth and for Glasner to do well at Palace. And yeah, I know Glasner's won a European Cup. Many managers have, and will come here and it doesn't work out. So what my expectations is for this club is not to be an 8th place team or a 7th place team. That's just not my. This is disgusting. That this is 8th and 9th is where what I call a bad season. This is beyond anything that I would have ever imagined. Thomas Frank, that's another one. No, like for me, I'm not even saying he's not going to be good. It's just that I don't. His style of play doesn't seem like it will connect. So when I look at him, like, how can you want him, but people complain about Conte, but you want Thomas Frank? Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, what do you think you're going to get? Like, do you think you're going to get, because all the Tottenham fan base, we love exciting football, you're going to be calling for this guy's head within 6 months. He's not an exciting manager. Yes, he might win 4-0 sometimes and this and that. Bro, he's 12. That's his record in the league. Like, you're not going to, Thomas Frank doesn't do it for me. Areola, I feel like there's still issues that when I see it's like, why have you got so many injuries? You don't even play European football. Like, I get that you're doing well, but even at the same time, like there's things that worry me about him. And then I look at our squad. I don't think our squad is good. Like I'm one of those people that people think, oh, new manager, bro, new manager gets us fucking 11th place, bro. We are shit. The players there are crap. No one's gonna convince me. So to answer your question, Jay, I really don't know. I really don't have anybody who stands out to me that will fix what's going on. Xavi, again, I can see in the chat. Xavi's is another good option, but what does it matter? This team is crap. What are you gonna do with players like Solanke? People want to talk about, oh, Solanke had 19. Bro, how can you explain the 6 goals the season before the 19 goals? That 19 goals just seems like an anomaly. It's not what you regularly do. Richarlison, all these types of players that we have in the squad, they're not good enough. They're not good enough for top managers like Xavi and these players. They'll be gone within 6 months saying, oh, I can't work with this. Bissouma and these, I can't work with this. What do you want me to do? Romero running into midfield. Porro can't defend. This and that. We expect them to all shape shift everything till it all works perfectly. Bro, these men are rubbish, bro. There's about 5 men in this team that are half decent. The rest are crap. We sign players from relegation teams and wonder why we're sitting in 16th. Like, for me, the manager doesn't change anything just yet. We need our overhaul. Players need to go as well. And then I can start.
You can't just. You need to know who you're signing the players for, innit? That's what I'm saying. Like we can get rid of the players, but we obviously look. We have to. The later we leave the whole change in the manager, the less time he has with the squad, the more excuses that is going to be if things go wrong next season. I think at the bang on the end of the season, say we win the Europa League, we lift that cup. 2 days after that, just let the guy go, let him go, bring in a new manager so that he has 2-3 months in the summer to just work with the players. Just work with the players, figure out who he wants to keep, who he thinks he can work with, who he thinks isn't good enough, and move them on. And let's be real, yeah.
But Jay, can I just
let's be real. Wait, hold on. Let's be real, yeah. We're not living in a world where some of these players can't improve. I do think a lot of these players can improve with better coaching. I do think some of these players are just really poorly coached, and it's reflecting a lot. So, again, for me personally, I've been saying this all season. Go get me Marco Silva, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get me Marco Silva. He's a balanced manager. He doesn't do all-out attack. Doesn't do the stinky low-block football. He adapts. That's what I want. But you know,
where do you think Marco Silva takes this current team? Like, let's say he had no signings. Like, let's just say he didn't sign any players. Where do you think he takes this? Where do you think this current team finishes under Marco Silva?
Maybe in the top 10 for sure. 100% in the top 10 for sure. Maybe
and this ain't good enough.
But this is the point. No, we can't sit here and say we want a manager to come in here and take us from 16th straight into the top. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, because like someone said in the chat, when you're working with Levy, you've got one hand behind your back at all times. You're always at a handicap. You're never going to get the players that you want. And that's why I'm not going to lie, yeah, all of these win now managers are not successful because they're used to getting what they want when they want it. If you get a manager like Marco Silva to come in and build off the back of what could be a very successful European season, yeah, and you get him to just discipline the players, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be Marco Silva, that's just my choice, innit? But you get a manager that's well drilled, that can discipline the players, get them playing a system that works for them, and works for that keeps everyone happy, then bro, we can build off that. And then let's say we keep him for 2 seasons, he builds and makes us a top 4 team again, and we're going deeper into our competitions. Then you can turn around and say, all right, then we should maybe look to bring in a new manager who's a win now. That's when you bring in a win now manager. But we're still 2-3 years off of a win now manager, and that's what I came to realize myself. Do you know what I'm saying? That's
what we always are.
We're so behind.
When are we at the point?
So much, bro.
When are we ever gonna be at the point for these managers? We're always 2 to 3 years.
We was at that point when we sat Poch. That's when we was at the point. You know what I'm saying? We just got to a European final. What we should have done is gone out there. We got the Jose. Cool. We brought Jose in, right? Win now manager. But did we give him serious win now players? No. And this is my point of Daniel Levy, innit? This is why everyone thinks, yeah, that, you know, these managers have to come in and win. That they can't work with this guy. they can't work with this guy. We all hate Levy. And these are the things that I blame Levy for. Do you know what I'm saying? Being one of the worst flipping owners in the league in terms of spending wise. Look at our wage to turnover ratio. It's 42%. It's the lowest in the league. We don't want to
And
pay the
getting
money
lower.
for these big players. So it's all good saying get a win now manager, but he's gonna walk after 8-9 months.
My whole thing is, yeah, I don't necessarily. Sorry, Ghost. I know you was gonna go in a minute, but my thing is that at the same time, I'm not asking for a win now manager either. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for a win. I don't actually know what I'm asking for. Like, I'm at the point where I don't know what fixes this. I don't know. It's not okay. Win now ain't gonna be able to do much with what we've got. But a growing manager, or a manager that's more like the Areolas of the world and the Franks and all these guys and the what's his name, Marco Silvers. These guys are, yes, the kind of mode of manager that we should be looking at, because they can work with what Levy gives you and all this bullshit that we have to live through, because we've got an owner, again, who will never suffice these managers with what they need. What was the last manager who was given what he needs to succeed? Now, we can say that Ange was given blah, 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 and X, Y, and Z to spend and all this and that.
I'd say Ange, because Ange has got every signing that he wanted. He's got every player that he's asked for. Let's be real. He asked for Johnson. He asked for Werner. He asked for Dragusin. He asked for Tell. We got Tell. Do you know what I'm saying? He wanted.
But when we say he asks for these players, are these players, because when you look at all these players, one thing sticks out is that they're all under 100k. So when we say these are the players he asks for, are these the players he asks for within a bracket? Like, it's not who I asked for. Like, I can't see how you look around world football and Solanke is the player that you want. I just don't see how that makes sense. So I feel like within this tiny bracket of players that you can have, now choose out of this. So the world is massive, but you have this to choose from, this little selection, choose out of that. How can you? I can't really, and that's what every manager here gets. So I'm not defending Ange, because you haven't made the best of what you have. So I ain't defending him by any means. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking every single manager will be handicapped, bro. I'm looking at this team. This is a regular Tottenham team. Like, as much as we try and act like this is what we have. This is the kind of shit players we sign. This is the type of Bentancurs, Bissouma. It's just filled with players that I'm used to seeing. So I just don't see what.
So is that is that what we think then? Do we think that Levy's just given Ange like a list of players and said, "Yo, this is what you can pick from in it"? So the choice is yours.
Coincidental how they're all under.
Chat, is that what we think?
Tottenham
okay,
Ranger,
I think that's what the chat are saying as well. Okay, then
yeah,
that's a good point. Then that's a fair point.
That's what I believe, because they can't all be under 100k. If that's all the players you want, but they all somehow have to accept 70k. But that's who you chose, bro. Players are out there getting 350, bro. Like, how can these players that you pick are always acceptable and all happy with 60s and 70s? Because they're shit, bro. Solanke should have never, after a season of banging 19 goals, he should know his worth. What are you talking to me about 70k a week? Who are you chatting to, bro?
Yeah, but Gallagher didn't want to come to Tottenham. Gallagher didn't want to come to Spurs. He wanted to go to Atletico Madrid. That wasn't Levy didn't give Ange Gallagher. That was Gallagher turned Tottenham down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Never getting Gallagher.
I guarantee you that any fan could put a much better team together than what Levy does. Yeah, I agree, man. Ghost, what's your thoughts on the managerial situation? Who would you pick to replace Ange?
For me, and just on the Gallagher thing quickly, it's a continual thing, man. It's who does want to come to Tottenham, because they know the ambition of the owners and the club, really. Like, why is he going to come and waste his career here when he thinks, yeah, I can go elsewhere? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the manager, I know a lot of people don't like it when I say it, but I've been banging this drum for ages. We need to bring Pochettino back. And the reason is because he is proven fact of a guy that can work under this ownership. He can take a very mediocre player and he can bring that player, maybe not the top level, but just below the top level where we're in and about it. Do you know what I mean? I know we don't want to talk about them lot, but I see a lot of Pochettino in Arteta
yeah.
and what
that's a
they're
fair
doing
point.
over there
Mhm.
and what they're
Mhm.
doing over there at the minute.
Mhm.
Whether they're going to win or not win, that's another story. But what he's got them doing is they're a fully functioning team.
Yeah.
They know what they do in defense. They know what they do in attack. He has made very players that we might have laughed at, like say a Kiwi, or we may have laughed at him. But when it's been time to perform, he's performed. And this is what I see Pochettino do. He would do it with players like Harry Winks, Oliver Skip. There's a list. And I think for the stage where we've regressed so much, we need to bring somebody like him in that is going to at least take us back to where we was. And then I think we kind of go from there. I think we get a Poch in. He can train these players up properly, make them good professionals again, get the best out of them as well, and then kind of see where we're at. We think to ourselves, okay, he can't really take us that next step. Yeah, that's fair enough. But we need to do it all within the right time in this time. I think with Pochettino, the year before the Champions League final was the year that we should have upgraded him, because that's when it was coming to an end. Our players was in their primes. We'd been going for the league, missed out, semi-final here, semi-final there. And that was kind of the point that we should have got Conte and Jose, because I think when we got Conte and Jose, our team, bar Harry Kane and Son, the rest of the team was past it. They weren't performing to the standards that they was performing to the year before. And I think obviously with the Champions League final as well, I think that was kind of, when you actually look back at it, I feel like we got there by luck, not by us being like
100%.
Good team.
solid.
What are
team.
the chances Mora scores a hat-trick in the semi-finals?
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that weren't the team that I'd seen the previous years trying to dominate the league, or the team that teams were scared to come to our place and play us.
Yeah.
We was in a fading period then, and I feel like at the start of that season, if we'd had a new manager, we could have pushed on then. But for the minute and the situation we're in now, I feel like all that will happen is you'll bring a Glasner, you'll bring a Silva, and you're going to have half the fan base going to be against him straight away. The guy's going to be under pressure, because it's a different kind of pressure to be the manager of Fulham, to be the manager of Bournemouth, to be than it is to be Tottenham, because we want to be at the top.
We want to win.
Exactly that. And I don't think that's something that these managers offer. So I think for the minute, if you bring a Pochettino, okay, some people might not be happy, but a lot of people are going to understand what he can do for us, because we've seen it before with our own eyes. And he's going to at least elevate this team to the correct level that we want them to be at, where we're not just pushovers anymore. And then I think we kind of just go from there.
Yeah. And Kieran Kaz put something in the comments again. A couple man have been putting, even Kavinsky's been putting some good stuff in the comments as well. I've been seeing.
Yeah, man, big up the chat.
Saying, understanding, big up the chat, man. Destiny 5, big up the chat.
I don't know how many likes we're on in it, but it's been a good show, man. I want to thank obviously Ghost, Kudos, R1, AJ obviously joining earlier, Omar as well. I want to big up everyone that's called in today. Big up the chat. Make sure you get me, you subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're trying to hit 650. We're really close. We're like 10 subs away in it. So make sure you hit that. I will be back tomorrow for a footy talks with Mike's, or hopefully with Mike's if he's available. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, people, that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you guys, you know what I'm saying, if you guys check out all of these guys, put their links in there and whatnot. You get me? And yeah, I'll catch you lot on the flip side. Thank you lot again for joining. It's been a pleasure speaking Tottenham with you, man. And yeah, catch you lot in a bit. Peace out. God bless. And Ange out, man.